Alright, today we're going to take a look at how to grind your tungsten over in the Tyler Metal Shop. First thing you're going to want to notice is that there's a little poster up here by the two sanders, the disc sander and the angle grinder. And on that little note shows you a drawing of your two different types of grinds. One's for DC, one's for AC. So if you're doing aluminum, you get a little more of a stubby point with a larger flat spot. If you're doing DC, electrode negative, you can go for a longer flat or a longer, sharper point, but no sharper than about 2.5 times the diameter of your tungsten itself. The larger the flat spot, the higher the amperage you can carry with that electrode. The smaller the point, the finer the welding, and the lower the amperage you're going to want to use. So you can vary that as well. The other thing you're going to want to make sure you have is a parallel grind, and that's what we're going to show you how to do in this short little video. First off, make sure that you're always wearing your safety gear. Again, that notice is hanging out by the bench grinder and the disc sander up on the wall. So in terms of safety gear, follow all the safety rules that the two grinders and sanders both have. You're going to also definitely want to be making sure that you wear a face shield, because this tungsten we're using is really brittle. It shatters very easily, so if that shatters while it's in your hands, you're going to be in really bad shape. So you don't want those little pieces of debris flying at your face. So wear safety glasses in addition to a face shield. So let's take a look at some different problems that arise when we're grinding. First off, as you're welding, sometimes you get these really big nasty lumps on when you're learning, and so you might have quite a bit to grind off. There's an easier way to do this. Because the tungsten is really brittle, what I love to do is to just grab it in, say, like an adjustable wrench just above where, or just below where you want that little knobby junk to come off, and then grab, go over to one of these blunt tables, or you can even use a little hammer and you give it a glancing blow. Here's my technique, and then you can shear off the tungsten in a pretty relatively clean break. Now you got a lot less material to grind off. So once you have that ground as needed, and other times, your point isn't in too bad a shape, you just need to tune it up. This one's actually in pretty good shape, but I'll demonstrate the grinding techniques with it. So let's go over to our most common way to grind things, which is over on one of these bench grinders. You get you a good angle here, and what you do is you basically just set it up so that you're holding and bracing your hand along the guard here, and you're going to turn your tungsten like so as you're grinding. This throws some debris down towards your fingers. Never grind on the side, and I also don't recommend going down like that, because it could get sucked in and shatter, so bad news there. If things get too hot, we have a little quench bucket down here with water to cool off your tungsten as you're grinding, so make use of that as well. Keep things cool. If you're using the disc sander over here, the grinding operation manually anyway could look a little something like this, where you're holding it just sort of between your thumb and your finger like that, just to kind of cradle it and turn it like so as it's spinning. And you could be down here, you could be over here. The main thing is to try and get a straight grind. So my favorite method, however, is to cheat a bit and use a cordless or corded drill, and you just chuck it up on the drill, and now the drill is doing the spinning for you, and it's holding it, and your hands are good and secure. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So here's your parallel grind. You need to do a little flat spot. Always support it. You do that little flat spot. Keep it moving. Get your grind. If it gets too warm, you've got your little quench mark here. So let's turn that on. So always make sure that you're following the safety procedures of the various tools in the shop. Another thing to keep your hands safe, we'll see if we can make available for you. As these tungstens get shorter and shorter, you know, they wear out. This is a newer one. Here's an older one. You can always put it in a pin vise, and that'll keep your hands safe as you're grinding away. So try and keep a parallel grind, keep your fingers safe, always, always, always wear your face shield, and make sure that you don't use any pieces of equipment that you don't feel comfortable with. Another quick tip here, if you're having trouble with the C-wrench tip, you can also just grind on a cutting wheel a little notch in your tungsten, and then it'll break off a lot easier too. You can usually use an abrasive wheel for something like that. So again, if you have any questions about any of the equipment, always follow safety guidelines posted by the equipment, and always ask your instructor or the shop technician. Never use any equipment that you are not familiar with or that you have not been cleared on.